Hello and welcome to my match analysis of Ipswich Town versus Sunderland. I'm kicking off my new YouTube channel with a bang by, reviewing a game that didn't really have much bang to it. It wasn't a very exciting game at all, which we will get into eventually, but let's talk about the build up to the game, because Ipswich Town came into the game 9th in the table, having yet to beat a team in the top 10. 6 defeats in 7 at home and 9 points in the last 10 have not looked good on Paul Lambert's record. Paul Lambert has came under increasing pressure from both the media and the fans alike, with owner Marcus Evans refusing to pull the trigger. Whereas for Sunderland, it is a different story. Sunderland have not lost on the road yet this season, only conceding 4 goals in the process, which looks excellent for Lee Johnson's side, and they are hoping to build on a 1-0 win against Shrewsbury last time out. Whereas for Ipswich, they lost 1-0 against Peterborough in a turgid display, with fans not very happy at all. So Town boss Paul Lambert made 4 changes to the team that lost 1-0 to Peterborough on Saturday, with Thomas making his full debut, John Nolan, Luke Wolfenden and Caden Jackson all returning to the starting 11. Sunderland included former Blues skipper Grant Ledbetter in their starting 11 and made 1 change from the team that beat Shrewsbury 1-0 at the Stadium of Light on Saturday, with Carl Winchester coming in for Jack Diamond as they moved into a 4-3-3 system. Anyway, let's actually get into the match. The match had hardly gotten started when Jackson caught Bailey Wright with studs halfway up his shin. Initially from the replay, I didn't think it was a red card because initially Sky had shown it from a different angle. So from that angle, I thought it wasn't a sending off at all. I thought Bailey Wright had initially gone in with the challenge himself. But from an alternative view, which was circulating on Twitter, and again shown by Sky Sports, you could see that it was a very silly challenge at all. A bit too much aggression from Caden Jackson, and it could have been a real leg breaker. Whether Caden Jackson had come to the game with too much fire, that may sound daft, but he has got a place to fight for, or whether his head isn't there. Who knows? Only the management and the player himself can answer that. But we did go down to 10 men, and for a couple of minutes we were sitting in Sunderland's half after the send-off, and on the 16th minute, our best opportunity of the game, with Dizelle swinging in a free kick, which Mark McGuinness got on the end of, but ultimately headed it into the palms of the keeper, Burge. Town looked to have seen the first half out, and we're approaching injury time now as the Black Cats unfortunately went in front. They were purring and purring, no pun intended, and they were threatening to get in front, and Charlie Wyke diverted past Holy from 8 yards to give Sunderland the lead. So going at half time, we were kind of hard done by, to be honest. I thought in the first half we did play very well, considering we weren't playing with a recognised striker after Caden Jackson went off. And almost we did deserve to walk in with the 0-0 score, but unfortunately that wasn't to be. We conceded right before half time. Anyway, let's talk about the second half. Embleton came on, made an instant impact for Sunderland, hitting a shot instantly on the 58th minute from a few yards out, which didn't really trouble Holy at all. We made our first substitution of the game. Drinan came on for Nolan on the 58th minute, which gave Ipswich some impetus. Drinan flicked the ball towards goal, more or less as soon as he came on, which didn't cause Burge much of a problem. And with the striker up front, with the target man more or less up front, he did give us a bit more options, but as many Town fans will know, Drinan isn't the most clinical of finishers, and unfortunately we still struggled. Anyway, there's really not much more to analyse, to be fair. Dizelle picks Thomas out from a loose path. We're on the 59th minute. It's in, but his shot is too close to Burge, and same old really, you know, we can find the positions, but unfortunately we can't convert. Soon afterwards, Bailey Wright, former Bristol player of course, who had been in the wars a bit, remember, he was on the end of Caden Jackson's challenge earlier on. He clashed heads with Anindrianen, and in what was probably the most exciting part of the game, he seemed to be okay, but he was stretchered off. I hope he's okay, of course, and I think he is. But Town kept pushing at the closing stages of the game. Sears and Kenlock came on, didn't create anything, and to be fair, I don't know how to end it. That was more or less the game for us. Quickly, my thoughts. I'm not surprised at all. I said on Twitter that I actually felt a bit bad for Paul Lambert, and a few Ipswich fans were up in arms about that, and I'll tell you why I felt a bit bad for him. Paul Lambert was obviously ill on the touchline. He had his coat over his head, he had a scarf over his mouth, he looked very groggy indeed, and when you're under pressure and suffering from long COVID, that mustn't be very pleasant at all. So I do feel sorry for him, and I also felt we were hard done by with that result. Had we have had 11 players on the pitch, who knows, maybe we would have gone on to win the game, but ultimately that wasn't to be. Caden Jackson, he cost the team, he knows that, he apologised on Twitter, and the result is what it is. Will Paul Lambert get sacked? Personally, in my opinion, I don't think he will. If he does get sacked, he'll have to be given a £2 million payoff, which is a lot of money, especially during a pandemic, for Marcus Evans to really be given to these players. So as I said, I don't think he will get the sack. Maybe should we get hammered by Crewe? Crewe played very well last time they visited Portman Road. We are away, of course. Maybe he will come under a bit of pressure from the owner this time. But only time will tell ultimately. Anyway, let's go through the comments that Paul Lambert made after the game, because they were quite interesting and they followed the narrative of, well, Paul Lambert being a bit too positive, to be fair. If you remember last week, Luke Chambers came out and said, we have no excuses to make. We can't make any excuses. Paul Lambert immediately came out afterwards during his presser and said that we played really well, which was slightly hypocritical of what Luke Chambers was saying, reflecting on the battling display put in by his 10 starters. I'm reading this of TWTD, by the way, these are the quotes. Brilliant, it's really good. Fight, everything was there. There was nothing in the game, but when you go down to 10, then it becomes harder. We were competitive, but we lost. There's a way to lose, as I've always said. Now, in my opinion, this is just, again, my opinion. I think those are purely excuses. Paul Lambert's words hold no weight, nor does Marcus Evans' words, And in my opinion, Paul Lambert does not want to face the media at all. He knows the media are out for him now. They're out for his head. And as you can see there, he's still making the same old excuses that he normally does. He did go on to say, I think we made really good substitutions. The guys, they gave me everything, and I can't ask for anything more. Well, of course he could ask for more. He's in control of the players, if that makes any sense. It's his fault if a player gets sent off because, you know, he's supposed to be the man motivator. He's supposed to be the man manager. His man management has not been very good at all this season. Should we have maybe have stuck one up front, taking Nolan off as soon as Jackson was sent off? Who knows, maybe that would have done something. But again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier actually. I do think we were very hard done by the result. I didn't think we played too badly at all, given the circumstances. But this is Ipswich Town we're talking about. Not playing badly at all in Ipswich Town terms is basically us saying, well, we played badly, but we played less worse than we did last time out. And that was against Peterborough when we had 11 men on the pitch. Anyway, the fans had quite a lot to say about that result, of course, and I did ask you all on Twitter what your thoughts on the game were, and thank you very much to those who've contributed. I have a few of your quotes right here. Stephen Parry said, I agree, this is in regards to whether Paul Lambert should get the sack. Should he get the sack? Yes, we are going nowhere. Still, will he get sacked? I doubt it. and Marcus Evans will hang on to him a month to either save on contact payout, which is basically the 2 million which would be due to him should he get the sacked, and hopefully get a boost from season tickets from a new man. Thank you very much for that. Graham Brooks said, Lambert delivering. Evans gave up a long time ago on Premiership and investing bare minimum. Division 1 suits him, League 1 suits him, and hiding behind the salary cap. Lambert is also buffer from a lot of abuse, so why would he get red anytime soon? Squad good enough to go up under right manager, but lack of move says it all. And to be fair, that is bang on under any other manager. A few people have thrown out Nigel Pearson's name, for example, Danny Cowley. I am under no illusions that under any managers like that we wouldn't, that would probably get promoted, if that makes sense. But yeah, thank you very much for today's show. As I said, this is the first one I've ever done. You might have seen me in Talking Town before, maybe a few different podcasts out there, who knows, but this is the first video I've ever made, so please subscribe down below, hit the like button. I'll also be on the Kings of Anglia podcast this Thursday with a few different Ipswich Town fans, so give that a listen. I hope you enjoy it. Talking Town will be back for their post-game analysis on Saturday, so stay tuned for that. And of course there are many other great podcasts out there, Kings of Anglia, Blue Monday, they're all wonderful, so give them a listen. And of course they have a YouTube channel as well, so give them a like too. On Twitter you can find me at Ben Eyriey. I do quite a lot of polls on Twitter. I'm involved in a few podcasts as well, so of course check me out there. Then, sorry if that makes any sense at all. And I'll also be hosting or conducting a few interviews for this channel as well. So keep your eye out on that. The interviews should hopefully be very exciting and I hope you enjoy them. So thank you very much and goodbye.